Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of October, 2024. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your family's safe and healthy, and I hope the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries such as food, water, mail, and people for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and the children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who make business out of this, and double curses on all the perverts that create the demands for these industries. Finally, blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night in Boston. The New York Knicks got an old-fashioned ass whooping from the Boston Celtics, and it's all good. I've been telling y'all, and a lot of y'all get caught up in hype very easily. A lot of y'all get caught up in clickbait. And I've been telling you there's too much focus on the offense. Too much focus on what the offense is going to look like because they got Karl Anthony Towns. The way you win championships is on the defensive end of the floor. And the Knicks did not lose this game last night for lack of scoring. They lost this game for lack of defense and rebounding. The defense, especially the perimeter defense, has got to improve. Last night, the Celtics scored. They hit 48% from three. 29 three-pointers. The starting five hit 26 three-pointers. Tatum has 8 by himself. And a lot of times what bothered me was, and I know this is what I love about Tom Thibodeau, that ain't gonna fly. I'm gonna tell you right now that ain't gonna fly. I know it bothers him like it bothers me. When you see a guy like a Tatum, it's not like there's some guy that come off the bench like Hauser or Cornette. It was a dude that you know is the threat, right? And you know he gonna get his. Okay, he gonna get his. But he hit at least 4 of his 8 three-pointers in the very same spot. What's wrong with that? You know he's going to get his. So if you know he's hit 2, let's say from the same spot, you cannot let him have that spot. You got to make him shoot from somewhere else. So he hits 8 three-pointers. Derek White hits 6. And the thing about White, and even Tatum too, but a couple of times they had defense all over him. And they were still nailing the 3. By the time, it was like once they started getting hot, it was over. Brown hit 5. Jrue Holiday hit 4. And Hart hit 3. That's the starting 5. Okay? They hit all those three-pointers. They went with a 9-man rotation. Tillman, but really Tillman played garbage time. By the time Xavier Tillman came in, the game was over. It was really an 8-man rotation for the most of the night. Like I told you they were going to do. The same with the Knicks. It was mostly an 8-man rotation. And the perimeter defense, it was horrible. It was bad. The only guy playing perimeter defense last night was Deuce McBride. That's it. That's it. And Deuce can't guard everybody on the perimeter. This is the biggest problem last night. Bridges and Anunoby. And like I told y'all, it wasn't about Bridges' shot, the hitch in his shot. It wasn't the problem. It was defense. You got to guard better than that. And I'm going to tell you something. They will. They're going to guard better than that. Like I told y'all, some of y'all was talking about the first 30 games and going to 28-2 or something. Listen, first of all, Thibs teams start slow. This team, Bridges, Towns especially, not used to playing with each other yet. They're going to get there, though. So please don't start jumping off bridges. Some of y'all going to come out here with the BS about, oh, it's all over. Oh, the Knicks are done. Oh, they might make 500. Come on now. Stop tripping. Okay? Don't come on my channel tripping. Go to Oprah or to Dr. Phil or something. Don't come here with that. They're going to be all right. But now we know. It's good in the sense that we know what it is now. Bridges knows he's got to come, and he will. I'm going to tell you, him and Anobi are too good. They're going to come better than that. The perimeter defense for both of them sucked but last night. Okay, Brunson, you know Brunson's not the greatest defender. But in Hart, he played decent defense. He really did. Hart was good. Towns, though, And you know how you could tell Thibs was upset? Towns played 24 minutes last night. He only had one foul, so it wasn't foul trouble. And I don't believe they reported him hurt. He only played 24 minutes last night. Thibs played Sims 24 minutes because Sims played better defense than Towns. See, it's the defense, y'all. It's the defense that wins. You want to win 60 games? You better play some defense. You want to win a chip? Defense. It's not how much a person scores. Some of y'all still ain't caught that memo yet. But it was on full display last night. Okay, it was on full display. Okay, so they better be better. They're going to get better. They will. I'm very confident in it. But like I said, I was glad that Boston came out the gate and beat the Knicks behind last night. I was glad because it was a wake-up call. Ain't nobody handing you no championship. You ain't getting handed top two in the East. You got to kick butt, and you got to kick butt on the defensive end. And then, as far as rebounding, they got out rebounded 40-34, and then offensive glass 11-5. See, this is where you're missing a Mitchell Robinson. This is where you're missing a Precious Achua. And this is why all you idiots out here calling for Walker Kessler, he don't rebound like that. Not like that. Okay? So you better hope Mitchell Robinson is ready for January, hopefully December, because this is where you're missing him right now. You want to know where you're missing Julius Randle? Rebounds. Okay? That's where you're missing him. All of the other antics, the thumbs down, the turnovers, whatever, you need rebounds. Okay? Now, Josh Hart had 4 boards last night. But Josh Hart is still, I'm not worried about Josh Hart. He's still finding himself. And last night, he got his shot, he got his rhythm. And this is the thing. He's one of those players like Deuce, like I was telling you a couple of years ago about Deuce. Josh Hart, he needs to get a lather. He needs to be in the flux. He needs to be in it and sweating and getting in it. And then you'll see him start playing better. The more he plays, the better he's going to play. And I thought that was a really good sign to me. I was watching him and I was like, okay, eventually he's going to be the Josh Hart that we all know and love. And he's going to be all over the floor. So I was actually, it looked bad in the unit. But that was because Towns, Anunoby, and Bridges could not guard their shadow last night. And the daggone Celtics with 29 threes. The high points, Josh Hart. Brunson offensively is what we expect. 9 of 14, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 1 of 3 from the field. But even he know he sucked when he took himself out the game last night. He took himself out the game. Thibs ain't need to pull him. He walked off because he knew he sucked. That's what, if you've ever seen Brunson and when he knows he sucks when, and I didn't even look at the post-game interview, but I can guarantee he's going to tell you, I sucked tonight. He's going to say that because he did defensively. Okay, and a couple of those turnovers. He had 4 turnovers, which ain't the end of the world, but a couple of them, he got his pocket picked like he was a rookie, man. Got to be better. But Josh Hart, I liked what I saw from Josh Hart. I loved, of course, Deuce McBride. I told y'all, he going to get 20-something minutes a game. Last night he played 26. Really, in the thrux of it, it was like 23. The rest of the 3 was like garbage time. But in the heat of it, you're going to see Deuce out there a lot at both guard positions. He's not a point guard. No, he's going to play point and off guard. because he's like that. And last night he had 22. You're not going to get him shooting 4 or 5 from 3 every night, or 8 of 10 from the field, but he's going to shoot his 40% from 3. But the thing is about shooting 40% from 3, he will get, like 6 attempts a game. He gonna get that, and 6 or 7 attempts. You're gonna see he only had 5 last night, but he gonna get 6 or 7 attempts a game. And so that's your scoring, that's your bench scoring right there. And then you had the Payne. Payne was okay, but I'm telling you, when Shamet comes back, and this is the thing, I did not realize until the preseason that Shamet could play defense. And that's why him and Deuce looked extremely good together, especially if you remember the Minnesota game. Those two played most of the minutes off the bench together in the backcourt. Payne came after them, and that's going to be the case. When he comes back, he wasn't even shooting right yet, but he's going to. Just like I told you about Deuce. Deuce didn't shoot good in the preseason, but we knew that was going to change. So when you get Shamet back, and you can bring Deuce and Shamet off the bench together, that's going to be hella fun, especially with Precious. Was all that Precious, Deuce, just like I've been saying, Precious, Sims, Deuce, and Shamet. That's going to be a nice unit. So Deuce was balling last night. He was balling. Sims played. See, I keep hearing people talking about what Sims brings offensively. Y'all need to wake up. He's not out there to score. Sims is out there to do 2 things: rebound and play defense. Last night, he played 24 minutes. He got 9 boards. He led the team in offensive rebounds with 3. And he had 2 blocks. That's why he's out there. That's why he's out there, okay? And that's why we need him out there. And last night, the way Towns was playing defense, we really need him out there, okay? So I'm glad we have him. And all y'all was sleeping on talking about Hoop Porty. Motherflocker Hoop Porty. Hoop Porty plays 6 minutes. Kolek, that's about what you're going to get. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Once Precious is back and Shamet is back, you're going to see a lot of this. Watch this. In the box score for Kolek and Daddy A, even Daddy A, Kolek and Daddy A and Hoop Porty, you're going to see at least 30 of these DNP/CDs. You know what that means? Did not play, coach's decision. You're going to see a lot of that, and you need to. See what I'm saying? When you got to depend on these cats against a team like Boston, you're going to get your behind whooped. You need pros out there, and you need people that know what the hell they doing. We were missing Precious. We were missing Shamet, but that ain't no excuse for the poor defensive effort we saw from guys like Bridges and Anunoby and Towns. That is no excuse. I'm sorry. You got to play better perimeter defense. Even if they could, because I saw, like, for example, on one particular play, Sims ended up on Tatum. And Sims gave him too much room because Sims was afraid, because Tatum, what makes him one of the top 5 best players in all of basketball, which he's all NBA first team and pushing for MVP, what makes him that way is because if you get too close to him, one dribble, one long stride, he's at the rim. See, that's what makes him difficult, man. And if you give him too much room, he's going to hit 8 threes on you. So Sims backs off him. And, of course, he drains the 3. So you got to, when you see a guy, you got to chase him off of that line. That's basic NBA basketball. Y'all know this, like, when a guy is hot from 3, or when teams that opponents know he can hit 3s, they go to chase him off the line. Make him hit somewhere, make him go to the basket, do something else. And they didn't do that. Well, I'm going to tell you what. They're going to. But I was very pleased with McBride, Hart, and Sims. Very pleased. Payne was okay. He was okay. He was all right. He wasn't bad. But it was McBride, Hart, and Sims that came to play last night. They came to play, those 3 guys. And that's good, because eventually, I'm telling you, Bridges and Anunoby, they're going to do just like we expect them. They're going to be locked down bookends. They are. Brunson's going to do his thing. Towns, again, I'm not worried about offense. I'm not worried about him finding his shot. That's not the big thing. I need him to play some defense, and I need him to rebound. And I believe he could do it. See, it's in the NBA, you have people, obviously, that have talents that they bring to the table, right? Like Deuce, for example, we know he's a lockdown defender and he can hit three. Brunson is an offensive machine. He really is unstoppable if we look at it, but that's him. But so you're gonna play your role. Everybody talks negatively about role players, but it's roles that win championships. People that know how to play their role on a team. Towns' role here, defensively, is to guard the other team, and he couldn't even lock up behind Al Horford. You have to guard him. You have to be able to lock him down, and you have to rebound, especially offensive rebounds. This is a Thibs thing. Now, we know we're going to get it when Mitch Rob comes back, and we know actually we're going to get it when Precious comes back. That's what made Precious so valuable. Oh, you're talking about trade deadline? Forget it. Flock a trade deadline. We trying to win here. Precious, we need him. And we need him for offensive rebound. He'll be back within 4 weeks, okay? He's going to be. I'm not worried about that. We need him. Okay? Precious can hold it down with Sims. We good. But we need offensive production on the glass. Offensive rebounds. And that's what we got to have. We cannot have perimeter defense like that, though. They're gone. We cannot. We cannot. Not. So Friday, who is it? They play next. They play Indiana. I believe in Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, is the next game. So let me look at that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So they're going to have to be ready for this game. It's Friday. No, it's at the Garden. So it's Indiana on Friday at the Garden. I'm not going to see that game. Because it's going to be on the Shabbat, but I'm going to watch. Obviously, I'm going to watch the replay on Saturday night. But they play Indiana Friday night, 7:30 at the Garden on ESPN. And Indiana will kill you from three if you let them. This is a good test because Indiana will kill you from three. Miles Turner, Halliburton. They will kill you from three, okay? So Neesmith, they will kill you from three if you let them. So this is very good, actually. I'm glad the Knicks are playing them Knicks. We got to shore up that. I want to see I would like to see a percentage in the low 30s at the best for Indiana, like 33% from three, some crazy number like that, or 20-something. We need to lock them down from the three-point line. And now we know Deuce is going to get a lot more minutes. He's going to get more because of his perimeter. I'm not talking about his scoring. He's going to score now. But because he's too quick for him and he got a three-point shot. But no, it's the perimeter defense. We need some defense out there. Okay? Last night there was a lineup Tom had where he had Deuce, Brunson, Hart. Okay? And then he had Mikal Bridges out there and he had Anunoby and he had Towns at times. But he mostly was Anunoby. It was Anunoby and Mikal. He's going to keep doing that. Because even though they sucked win last night, these are pros. These guys know what they're doing, and they ain't going to stay like that. They're going to be better. So we'll be all right. But it was actually, I wanted to win, like all of us. But I'm glad they spanked our behind. Because the Knicks got to know. You can't come out there against them half-assed. You got to be ready to play, and you got to play defense. Defense is the key here. And you got to get rebounds. This is key. Y'all enjoy. Don't worry about this. I don't want to hear nobody coming on tripping about jumping, talking about the Knicks are going to suck now, blah, blah, blah. You're always going to get idiots like that, and especially on Twitter. Y'all should learn to ignore Twitter. It's like if you went into an insane asylum, you can't pay attention to what everybody says. That's like Twitter. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. The Knicks will be back. We'll talk more. Sure. Said what, Tuesday? Wednesday, sorry. The Knicks will be back. We'll talk more. So.